What up, YouTube? It's Rob Books. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, then what's up? I suggest you subscribe, stick around for a while. You know what? For some reason right now, I just feel like I'm in the bucket hat. I'm chilling. You know, I done set the vibe for y'all to really just come and hang out with me. All right, come and hang out. We big chilling tonight. All right, let me put these on. Because it's just honestly how I'm feeling right now. All right, to give y'all a little background. All right, basically I've been working on a collection of poems, and throughout it, you know, one of my good friends gave me this idea and was like, yo, why don't you do this plus, you know, the content, and that way you can sort of bridge the two, right? You can bring those two worlds together. So that's what we're doing now. So I want to welcome y'all to the first episode of Poetry on the Spot. And that name may not even, I don't know, that's a cool name. What y'all think about the name? I thought it was pretty cool, Poetry on the Spot. Basically, the whole thing of what I'm doing here is I'm going to go through some ideas, go through just whatever's really on my mind, speak from my heart, speak my truth, embody my truth, and however that plays out, I'm gonna write a poem about it at the same time. So by the end of this video, there will be a poem right here typed on this typewriter, my typewriter, my Smith Corona, my baby, my 101, right? And it should encapsulate everything that I talked about, you know, and that's just adding like that little creative sauce to that motherfucker. Alright, this is just so y'all don't really think that I'm just out here making this up, right? Yeah, y'all can see that? You see that? Alright. So look, we gonna load it up. Alright. I don't really have a topic right now. I kinda know what I wanna talk about and what I wanna get to or create. Even me, I'm not a huge fan of like spoken word poetry, all right? Like, I'm not a huge fan of people on stage and it was damn I see to be the one I be. Like, I'm not even a fan of that. Like, I love poetry, and in certain aspects, I guess I'm biased towards it from my point of view, but I'm not really about to box myself in and make it this little poem, these haikus and all this other, like, whatever people think poetry is, all right? If it rhymes, if it makes sense without making sense, like, that's what I'm here to do, is just create that artwork, all right? We're gonna just jump straight into it, you know, and I'm just really thinking, like, from the time, all right, that's where we're gonna start. From the time that we could even speak, from the time where we started to have our own voice in this world, I feel like people wanted to shut it down, right? Whether that be entities, whether that be other people that see your light and want to dim your light, whether that be your own parents, whoever it may be. I just feel like we've all had those people in our lives that kind of want to speak for us, right? It's the time we learn to speak. Time we learn to speak, we would do what? Would copy. What I'm really trying to say, y'all, is that, like, your belief system, the reason you believe what you believe, up until a certain age, when you start questioning it for yourself, it's because other people, it's from somebody else, right? You may only be Christian or Catholic because your parents were Christian or Catholic, right? If you were born into Buddhism or Judaism, you would have become that, right? So it's like, at what point do we create our own voice, right? And whatever that looks like, our own voice in how we believe, how we perceive the world, what we choose to believe in, our own narrative, right? It could be, there's a multitude of things, right? What rhymes, repeating voices we heard. Since the time we learn to speak, we would copy what's around. Voices. Alright, we cooking with grease now. The way I like to write, y'all, is like a paragraphs at a time. So that's the first one. All right, super fire. We got that. And see, basically, it's trying to like take this whole conversation and say it without saying it, right? But also say it in a beautiful, in a crafty, in a smart, in a poetic manner and gesture. So let's move on to the second part. But see, that's the thing. Somewhere we get lost, all right? So I got my bullet points, my talking points and everything, but it's like at some point your brain, like the creativity, everything just has to mesh together. All right, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Sorry, but somewhere along this timeline, yep. But I'm gonna just keep using that. We forget. I really like that. We forget. We forget what? What do we forget? What do people forget? We forget that words turn to actions, turn to sounds. We forget that words turn to actions. We forget that words turn to actions. We forget that words turn to sound. Decisions. We forget decisions. We forget decisions. It's like, really, what do people forget? Like, I think some people don't understand that, like, you know, it may just be the running theme of even today. My mom actually just got out of surgery today. I think she went in yesterday. She was finished yesterday, but she finally was able to leave the hospital today as I'm recording this video. And I think it's just like the little things that we not only take for granted, but we forget, right? It's like we forget like that decision's done in it may take you 1 minute, right? It could take you 1 minute to get in your car and pull up to a stop sign, right? And in 1 minute somebody could hit your car, right? It doesn't happen in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like in a split second, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like those small things, it seems so small, so insignificant that they could really change the entire landscape and trajectory of your life. Decisions. So the last part that I gotten so far is we forget that words turn into sound, turn to meaning, turn to actions. We forget decisions made in 1 second can become everlasting. All right, let me take these off for a minute. This thing kind of took a turn on its own, but I like it, and that's what the whole creation process is, right? Taking that inner voice, right, that inner standing, and impressing that onto the world and putting your concepts, yourself, your ideas, your identity out there, right? With no care in the world of who the fuck's looking, who's watching, who's doing what, who's keeping up with who. It's like nobody really cares. And I think that's what we also forget about, right? We forget about not following something or not having the courage to do something based off, well, what if this person looks at me different? It's like, bro, in reality, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares what you're really doing, right? Y'all may sit here and watch this video for a little bit, but it's nothing for me to get anxiety over, right? Like I used to. And again, it's tough putting out content, right? Setting up the lights, making sure everything looks nice and appealing and things like that. But at the end of the day, if that paralyzes you so much to where you don't take action in your life and you don't start doing the things you want to do based on someone else's opinion, and you forget, right? That's the whole point of this, right? And you forget your own voice. That's when you get lost. And that's when life can really start to feel rough, right? When you feel like you're not in the driver's seat of your own life. But anyways, back to the poem. We forget the passion when we say I love you to our loved ones. No, loved. We forget the passion when we say I love you to loved ones. Like the interactions, I don't know. But imagine, okay, that's it. But imagine. But look, y'all, so we wrapping up, and all in all, look, this poem could be ass. This shit could be trash. This shit could be like, yo, put this in the bag. This nigga don't know what he's talking about. All right. But it could be super great, and somebody somewhere will love it, and that's all that matters. Like, yo, one person only gotta fuck with it, and they gonna buy it for like $5,000, $10,000 or some shit. I don't know. So that's an NFT, right? I don't fucking know. Anyways, all that other stuff's coming. But on a serious note, I'm gonna say the whole poem. Put my glasses on for this one, alright? And look, I ain't perfect, y'all, so don't expect me to be, because I don't expect you to be. Alright, let's go ahead and sign this boy. Oh, we didn't even give it a title. Fuck, I'm gonna go with what I was thinking. 2 different worlds, right? And that's everything. Poem's done. Release it. A nice, fresh piece of paper. As y'all can see, hopefully y'all can see right here. You see that? Maybe this how they all be, okay? All the episodes, all the future episodes, this how we gonna wrap up. I'm gonna go ahead and just say this poem, maybe add a different little music vibe to it or something, and then we out of here. Since the time we learn to speak, we will copy what's around, repeating voices we heard, only making sounds. But somewhere along this timeline, we let the world talk over us. We forget our voice is our God that we know and we trust. We forget. We forget that words turn to sound, turn to meaning, turn to actions. We forget decisions made in 1 second can become everlasting. We forget. We forget the passion. When we say I love you to our loved ones, but imagine if the voice we follow was our own, how quickly will we forget? Life is borrowed, not owned. I thought that was pretty cool. Not bad. I give it like a 8 out of 10, y'all. Anyways, that's it. You know, I might frame this. We can auction it later. But anyways, appreciate y'all rocking with me. Appreciate y'all rocking with the content. You know, yeah, I plan on doing some more like this, many different topics, and just have fun with it. So I encourage y'all to just be the best you. Don't try to make the world happy, because it's just gonna make it more of a fucked up place. Do you, and yeah, catch y'all on the next video.